As a young teenage boy growing up in the 70s and 80s in a small mining community, at the height of the whole Section 28 and such, there wasn't any support for people who identified as LGBTQ. The only role models I saw on TV were the likes of John Inman or Boy George, and I certainly didn't identify with those men. So I struggled to find somebody I could identify with. That was also a battle then, because I was brought up within the church with my faith. And then it seemed that everybody else in school knew I was gay before I did. And I was bullied physically, mentally, emotionally, day in, day out for pretty much an entire school year. And one day I just went, enough is enough. So I took a bunch of different pills that were in the house and a bottle of alcohol and went to sleep. And fortunately, my body fitted, which woke my mum in the early hours. She found me, rushed me to hospital. The last thing I remember was literally crying myself to sleep and then waking up in hospital with my auntie sat there, who then screamed for my mum to run in. And I was embarrassed. I felt like I'd let my family down. And it had just damaged so much. My sisters didn't know what was going on. They were younger than me. My mum felt guilty that she'd let me down. She hadn't. She was amazing. And I heard tales afterwards of my stepfather walking the streets because he didn't know what else to do. He just knew he couldn't be in the house, and people saw him walking up and down the street. I spent several weeks in hospital, in and out of a coma, sleeping it off. They weren't sure how I'd recover. Fortunately, with the love and support of an amazing family and friends, I got through it. And I ended up going back to the same school and facing them down and continued my school life there. And ironically, here we are 30 plus years later, I'm still friends with some of the kids I went to school with. And we still check in with each other regularly and give each other support, which is amazing. I was referred for psychiatric care. I think I had one session with psych and was like, this is not for me. I can do this. I think because I'd pushed through and decided I was doing things on my own, and then all of a sudden my friends were there and school were there and friends in the church were there and my family were there. They knew what I'd gone through, so then I could talk to them. So I managed to speak to friends, and I've kind of maintained that mantra all my life. Things did get on top of me. I've not allowed them to do so again. And when I have thought this was getting dark, I've thought, right, what can I do about this? And I adopted a new mantra into my life about 6-7 years ago. And my friends will laugh because they know I say this all the time. And they ask me for advice, and I tell them this. Does it add value to your life? And if something or someone doesn't add value to your life, let it go. If someone were to come to me and ask me, what shall I do? Because at the moment, the only option I have is to end it. I'd ask them to pause. Just take 30 seconds, and sometimes that's enough. So let's look at the problems you've got and break them down. What can you control? Those problems you can control, you can fix one way or another. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The problems you can't control, why worry about them? If you can't control it or the outcome, you've just got to live with it. It's not worth worrying about. Feelings pass, and it might hurt, and it might hurt for a while. But to quote an old hashtag on Twitter, it does get better. Having a strong circle of friends and family that you can be open with is key, but you've got to start with being open and honest with yourself. That is really important. If you know life is getting you down and that you are facing problems and you are struggling, you've got to be able to say, I need help with this. And there is no shame in that. Boys don't cry. I think it's rubbish. I cry, I laugh, I care, I love, I fall down, I stand back up. I think it takes real strength to open up to be your true self. And if your true self means you're carrying around a dark dog with you and you need help to take that dog for a walk, ask for it, because sometimes someone else will take that dog off your hands. And every time you share that worry and that concern, it gets a little bit smaller. So, as far as I'm concerned, a man who can open up, talk about what is going on in his head, what's going on in his heart, whether it be positive or negative, that's a good thing, surely. That's a role model for me. Because the minute you admit to that, then somebody else can go, do you know what, I feel the same. So have that strong circle of friends. Have your best friend. Go and play football. Go and play golf. Go swimming. Go walking. Go to the theatre. Go to the cinema. Go anywhere with them. But talk. I remember communication is more than just talking. It's about listening. You could be the one that your friend needs. And you could be the one that your friend wants to open up to. So make sure that your dialogue is open and free-flowing. That circle of friends will get you through it, and that could be your football mates, it could be the people you go to the synagogue with, it could be the guy you have a drink with at the bar, at the pub, who you play darts with, who you go to tap dance club. Whatever it is, find something, and find something that you can hook on as a positive. Listen to Kylie Minogue and dance in the bathroom if you need to, whatever needs you to get you through your day. For me, I sit down every night and watch old reruns of Casualty. I have an hour of my day where I just sit off, switch off, and watch people falling off ladders and getting sewn up. But for that hour, the world's gone and I'm just in my screen. And then I go, right, okay, what needs doing? What's for tea? Who do I need to talk to? So find that switch off, whatever works for you, just to go, the world is not mine for moments, I'm living in my own space.